back, everybody, to my channel. My name is Lindsay Robinson. Thank you for joining me today on what is going to be the first of a new series. And it's going to be my series talking about motherhood and all the different things that I'm dealing with. Aside from my cleaning and my regular content, this is going to be like my bonus vlog for the week. It's going to be my Sunday video. I think I'm going to call it my Sunday video. But tonight I thought we would sit down and do some self-care and do my nails and chit chat. I put out a post earlier today asking for some questions, and I got some really good ones, so I'm excited to answer them. If you guys are excited to be here, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and let's get right into it. So I'm going to start off by telling you guys a little bit about my day while I get some things prepped. So, let's see. Tomorrow will be 1 week since time change, and time change is just kicking our butts. We are not having a good time over here in the Robinson household with the time change, let me tell ya. The girls did great the first couple of nights. They were like, whatever, could care less, or couldn't care less, I guess. And they were just doing their thing. They really did not care whether or not it was 6 o'clock on their biological clocks or it was 7 o'clock when they went to bed. They didn't care. Then, about halfway through the week, they start not sleeping all night. And I mean like waking up. And Ella's teething. So I was kind of like, okay, it's teething at first. She brought down 3 teeth at the same time. So now she has 4 because she got another one through. And they're coming down. So they're like working their way down. So, you know, that's painful. And that's hard for her. So it's kind of like, okay, she's teething, no big deal, whatever. We'll just let them keep doing their thing, and eventually they'll go to sleep. Like, I'm not gonna stress, whatever. So fast forward to now, the last 3 nights in a row have been nothing but Ella waking up at 2 a.m. after going to bed on time, waking up at 2 a.m. and not wanting to go back to sleep. And actually last night she woke up before 2 a.m. She woke up at like a little bit after midnight. And we can't get her to go back to sleep. She just cries and cries and cries in her bed. We finally give in. We get her up. Blah, blah, blah. We do the song and then we do the dance. It's crazy. So I'm like, you know what? We're not doing this anymore. So as long as she ate before she went down, which she always does, and as long as she has a clean diaper, and there's nothing in her crib that can hurt her, I am not getting her out. I'm checking on her and I'm making sure she's good, and she always is, and then I'm just moving on. I can't stand around and wait for her to go back to sleep. I have to sleep, because whether or not she's going to sleep, her sister's going to wake up on time and be like, where's my mom? Where's my breakfast? Let's start our day. And we have things we have to do. Appointments to go to, people to see, places to be. So anyways, that's been fun over here, for the most part. Kevin and I also just decided that we're going to reshift our focus back to ASL for Naomi, which is something that was a goal of mine when I set out for the beginning of the year. But I've kind of slacked a little bit in that department, and so we've just decided that we're going to do some refocusing and try to do some things to help make our learning of ASL a little bit easier. If you guys don't know, Naomi, our oldest, was born deaf. We got that diagnosis when she was about 3 or 4 months old. And ever since, we've been, you know, obviously dealing with that. She wears a cochlear implant. When she wants to wear it, she wears it. It doesn't happen often. She's supposed to wear a cochlear implant, should be what I say. But it doesn't always happen. She is a free spirit and a grumpy babe, so she doesn't always wear it. So we were having a conversation about refocusing back into our ASL, because we're trying to learn for her sake, because she doesn't really wear her CI and her hearing aid. You know, it's just like any other normal 2-year-old trying to get them to wear hats or socks and shoes and just anything that's not necessary. And oftentimes even their clothes, they just don't want anything to do with it. They want nothing to do with it. So the hearing stuff is even worse. We've just decided to refocus into our ASL. But anyways, I am going to go ahead and trim up my cuticles really quick before we jump into questions. So I'll be right back. I'm going to get my bit on my drill and we'll do that. Okay, cuticles trimmed and ready for my poly gel. If you guys didn't know, I use, I don't know how to pronounce that, Gaio? I don't know. Anyways, I use this poly gel. It's from Amazon. It's a good deal and it's very good quality. I like it a lot. So anyways, first question is, what is your favorite holiday? Simple, Christmas. And if you didn't find my channel during Vlogmas, boy, are you in for a treat in December. I love Christmas. I actually started this channel with doing Vlogmas. I would upload a few videos here and there, just documenting our journey with Naomi from the NICU, my birth story, and then kind of what we've been dealing with her health since then. And then I started doing Vlogmas last December, just kind of like for fun. And then I really liked it. I loved vlogging every day. It was super cool. Most of the time I just filmed myself cleaning. I did a couple clean with me's in the middle of Vlogmas, and the clean with me's did really good. And that kind of leads in a little bit to one of our other questions. One of our questions from Rachel was, what made you start to want to declutter? And part of it was Vlogmas. So when we moved into this house, I didn't have time to declutter from our previous home. And I knew that what was happening after we had Ella was that we had more things than we ever could use. Ever. So I had kind of come to the conclusion that I needed to go through my things and declutter on a seriously high level. So I sat down, I made a plan of attack. I made the messy to minimal plan. I looked at my zones that I cleaned. I went through and I decided I'm going to break each room down by its zone, and then I'm going to take it even smaller than that, and I'm going to do the sections, because I'm a mom. I don't have a whole day to dedicate to decluttering an entire space. My kids need me. Naps, nursing, food, laundry, all these other things that are constantly going on. Dishes, bedtimes, therapies, appointments. We don't have time for me to take a whole day to dedicate to that. And frankly, I'm too tired to do that. So I kind of came up with the idea of messy to minimal because I would watch other people's decluttering videos on YouTube, and I would watch other messy to minimal series, and they would go in and they would do a whole room or even a whole half of their house, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's insane. And they would get rid of like crazy amounts of stuff. And I was like, great, that's amazing. I can't do that. That's not achievable for me. It may be for some people, but it's definitely not achievable for me. So I thought, well, if it's not achievable for me, then it's probably not achievable for a lot of other people too. So that's when I came up with the idea of doing the sections, filming it, putting it out, and just seeing what happened. And you guys really like messy to minimal, so that's great. And then the clean with me's kind of the same. And then that kind of answers Rachel's other question, which was what was the tipping point? And it was moving into our new house. That was the tipping point for me, where this house is bigger than our old house. And when we moved in, we were already packed. And I thought moving out of our other small house into our big house would be like, oh, we have so much room, blah, 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 which is technically true because we have more space for furniture. We have less furniture. But now, because we have less furniture, there's more room for clutter and boxes to just accumulate in random spots, like in the girls' room under their window. If you watched the last Messy to Minimal, if you did not watch the last 2 episodes of Messy to Minimal, I will link the first one up here of the girls' room so you can see what I'm talking about. That clutter around the floor area that just happened because there's room there for that. I don't want that. There's room, we're gonna fill it. That's our natural instinct as humans, is to fill the space with the stuff. So we don't feel lonely, we don't feel empty, we have stuff. So my whole idea with Messy to Minimal was to go in with the purpose of getting rid of 20% of our stuff. Realistically, I'd love to get rid of 40 to 30%, but I know that I'm not going to be ready for that level of decluttering. Not yet. So what I also wanted to do was create pathways for things to leave our home, because we have ways for things to come in. Mail, birthday parties, whatever, things we buy. But there's not very many ways for things to leave. So I thought if I started with Messy to Minimal and I do a pass through of my house, then I already have the sections broken up. I know exactly what they are, and it's going to be super easy for me to say, today I'm going to do kitchen section 3. And I know that that's my main dishes cabinet and the drawers underneath. I know that. So I can go in there and I can say, these 2 cabinets, boom, 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 boom. What are we keeping? What are we not keeping? Pull them out, get them out. Let's go. What are we not keeping? What are we keeping? Like that. And then I have this pattern and I have an expectation and I know what it is going to look like. And I already know that took me 10 minutes last time. I already got rid of the majority of things that we don't want. So it's going to take me even less time now, because I'm just going to go through and say, that's all the way at the back. We haven't pulled that one out, so it can go. We don't use it. So that's kind of my tipping point and where I was and my thought process behind that. Really quick, I'm going to go ahead and rough up my nails and get them ready for the base coat and for the poly gel. And then I'm going to answer a couple more questions. So let's do that really quick. Prepped. Now I'm ready to start with the gel, and I'm not going to show this part because I'm intimidated. I am just going to chat and answer the questions that I have left while I do this. So Rachel asks, how do I prevent from feeling overwhelmed with 2 young children and taking care of a house? And the answer is, Rachel, I don't. I really don't. I get so overwhelmed, and there are days when I am just like, no, not today. Ain't happening. I will say this. Having YouTube and having this channel, making cleaning videos, making the Messy to Minimal videos, that has really given me a piece of accountability. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I stay home full-time. I'm home with my girls 24/7, and I get $0 an hour for that. Which is, you know, it's the best job in the world, and I'm so blessed to be able to stay home with my girls. Not everyone has the ability to do that, and I recognize that. So, you know, I try not to complain too much about staying home, but I will tell you what, there are days, those babies test my patience. They test my patience so much. And you know, part of it is because Naomi is deaf and she can't communicate with us with the spoken language at all, and very minimal ASL. So, yeah, so that is part of it. That does make it really difficult for us to just communicate and have good days most of the time. But, you know, for the most part, they're very happy, very sweet little baby girls. And I will say my saving grace with both girls is nap time and our routine. And I don't mean a routine like at 7 a.m. we get up and I make breakfast and we do this. No. That's not the type of routine I'm talking about. The type of routine I'm talking about is they get up whenever they want to get up. Whenever they wake up, that's when they're up. And I get them at that point. We do breakfast at that point. We get dressed and then we watch Bluey for a little bit and then we play. Sometimes we do an activity. Sometimes we have somewhere to be and we can't. But we'll do an activity, we'll hang out, whatever. And then I make a small lunch a little bit before 11 because they are almost always awake before 11. Usually they're awake before 9. I rarely do they sleep past 9. And when they do, I'm like, maybe going to the pediatrician today. But yes, so that is what I mean by routine. And then they go down for their nap exactly the same time almost every day. Like, I ain't trying to mess around and be off the schedule, not taking naps at the right time. I'm not messing with that. No. We nap at the same time every day. And sometimes I will lay down with them because I need a rest, and other times I am on the move. I lay them down, I feed myself lunch. I try to always make myself a salad or something super healthy for lunch because that's really my time for myself. Even at dinner time, you know, we're all eating dinner together as a family when Kevin gets home from work. So I don't really have a chance at dinner time to relax and enjoy my meal. So lunch is my meal that I enjoy and take for myself. And I really like being able to just like sit down, and they nap for a couple hours. So I'll lay them down at 11 and they wake up anywhere between 1 and 1:30. Occasionally they'll sleep till 2. And that's usually on days that Naomi did aquatics or we were swimming or we were out doing an activity and we didn't get home right at 11. Then they'll sleep a little later. So 2 hours. That's great. I can get a lot done in 2 hours, or I can get nothing done in 2 hours. But what I do is I have my zone cleaning. So taking care of my house, I do zone cleaning. And I plan to do a big zone cleaning series when we hit 500 subs. I'm going to make 5 videos for the 5 zones and a deep clean. For the 4 zones and a deep clean video is what I meant to say. And release the zones. I'm making a PDF of the zones so you can download it. It's customizable, all that stuff. It's a lot of work to make this PDF, by the way. I've been working on it for a while. So what I try to do always is have a 20-minute cleaning task or a couple of tasks that I can do in each room. And in zone 1, like the kitchen, that is not the dishes. It's not the dishes. The dishes get done almost every day or every other day, depending on what we've been up to. If we ate out the night before, I ain't washing dishes. But anyways, that's not the point. It's a 20-minute cleaning in each of those areas. So for the kitchen, that often means the floor, the stove. Sometimes it's the refrigerator needs a wipe down. The cabinet faces need a good little rinse, especially now with little hands everywhere, putting food grime all over the place. Those cabinet handles and drawer handles in the kitchen get nasty with their little hands. So I've been wiping those down pretty much once a week now. So I try to do my 20-minute cleaning tasks each week in each room. And these are what you would call a maintenance clean. So I'm not spending a ton of time in there. But the other thing is that there are 20-minute cleaning tasks that I'm doing pretty much every week. So let's say it's Monday and Sunday night, the girls went to bed early because they were having fits and they were really tired and they were acting tired. And I was just like, no, I'm so done. I can't do this. I'm tired. You guys are going to bed. Cool. So now, Monday morning, they wake up extra early. They're up at 6 a.m. Unheard of. Unreal. They would never wake up at 6 a.m. But let's say that they did wake up at 6 a.m. Okay, so they're up at 6 a.m. So am I. And the whole day starts early because of that. So now, when 11 o'clock rolls around, because they will not go down before 11 o'clock because then that messes up the next night. So they have to stay up until 11 o'clock. Occasionally, I give them an extra 15 minutes and put them down at 10:45. It just depends on how bad they are. And by bad, I mean how tired they are and how not having it they are. Lay them down. I'm not feeling it. I am not spending 20 minutes doing whatever that day's task is. If it's Monday, I am not doing floors in my kitchen. No, I'm tired. I'm making my lunch and I'm going to take my own nap. And I have grace for myself for that. Do you know why? Because there are 3 days at the end of the week that my husband is going to be home for 2 of them. And I can say, I need 20 minutes to clean the kitchen. And I can pretty much always find those 20 minutes, even if they don't happen during nap time. If we're home all day, I can put on Bluey and get 20 minutes easy. So you got to know your kids. You got to know yourself and your kids and know when is your time to do that and when is your time to, give yourself a break and not kill yourself over your house. One thing that I have been talking, you guys have heard me talk about But First Coffee from Callie Bransford here on YouTube. I'll link her channel down below. She has great tips about staying on top of stuff. But one thing that she said that really stuck with me once was, my house exists to serve me. I do not exist to serve my house. The house meets a practical need for us. And when I had that mindset shift of, oh yeah, the house exists to serve me, not the other way around. I do not exist to clean this house. That's not the purpose of my existence. I'm raising kids in this house. This house is providing a place for me to be a mom, be a wife, be myself. I have my vanity. I want to take care of my vanity. I have my room. It's my place, my sanctuary. I have my desk with my computer. It's serving purposes. No matter what those purposes are, they're being served with my house. The function of my home is more important to me than the aesthetics of my home. And once I shifted my mindset into this has to function for me, Domestic Blisters on TikTok, she talks about function a lot. She talks about, is this a gift to my future self in the fact that I will be able to utilize this space without extra effort the next time I enter this space? So me doing the dishes at night before I go to bed is going to be annoying for me tonight because I can't sit down and watch my show. I can't take extra time to play video games. I don't get as much time to relax because I'm doing an extra chore or I'm doing a chore that needs to be done. But morning Lindsay is going to thank evening Lindsay for taking the time to do the dishes, and now morning Lindsay can focus on getting the girls ready, getting out the door on time, and morning Lindsay does not have to worry about whether or not those dishes are done. Is there a clean bottle for Ella? Is there a clean cup for Naomi? I don't have to worry about that because evening Lindsay did myself that favor. So I'll link a couple of those things down below for you guys to use as some resources to help you guys figure out some good plans, because honestly, I'm a planner, I'm a list maker. I thrive on lists. So I hope that helps kind of answer your question a little bit about how I keep from feeling overwhelmed. I don't. I feel overwhelmed all the time. And one of the ways that I try to prevent overwhelm is by making my tasks and in my to-do lists, I break them down. I want them to be as small as possible. My to-do lists are a mile long, but I guarantee you I'm only going at my to-do list with a goal of 5 or 6 things, but they're super long because I have broken it down into each and every step. It's going to be on my to-do list to take this cup to the kitchen, and then it's going to be on my to-do list to do the dishes. It's not going to be on my to-do list to do the dishes and then I'm going to think I need to come in here and get my cup. No. On my to-do list, it's going to say round up the dishes. So I'm going to walk around the house and I'm going to round up all the dishes that are stray and wherever they are. And then it's going to be on my to-do list to wash the dishes. And that's way less overwhelming because I already did one step. I got to check it off. And if I only get to round up the dishes in that 20 minutes that I've set to clean, great, that's fine. I checked something off my list. And later, I'm going to come back and check off the second half of my list. Just take it easy, take it slow, have grace for yourself. There is no hurry to do anything. And the things that are hurried, they're important and they're hurried for a reason. And we can prepare for those things to make that less overwhelming for us by planning and knowing in advance, hey, that's coming up. I got to be ready for that. I don't want to miss out. I don't want to stress myself out with that. And that's 100% an unacceptable thing. That's my advice about not feeling overwhelmed with the two littles. Rachel asked one more question. She asked me, what do I do for myself? And that's simple. One thing that I like to do for myself, a very specific thing that I do for myself, is have grace. And that's really hard, especially if you're a mom. One of the first times I ever left Naomi with Kevin, I drove somewhere. I drove literally 2 minutes to the store, and I didn't even do it for myself. I went to go pick something up for us. But I left her and I went to the store and I sat in the parking lot and I cried because I felt like a terrible mom. I'd never left her since she came home from the NICU. You know, I had to get over that. Look, I'm not even tearing up right now. Okay, I had to get over that. I had to realize that I can't pour from an empty cup. Everyone always says that. If you're pouring out and never pouring into yourself, then you can't, do your job, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. My thing is, I can't be the best me for my kids, and they deserve the best me if I'm not taking care of myself. So Kevin and I came up with a plan. We try to do this one weekend a month for each of us, where we just get time. It's usually 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes it's over nap time. Sometimes it's in the evening after the kids go to bed, whatever it is. I'll take the kids out of the house for him because he's a homebody. He likes to be at home and stay home. So I'll take the girls once a month, one weekend, and just go somewhere. Go visit some family, go see my sister, go see some friends, whatever it is. And he will just stay home and have that time for himself to just kind of regenerate and kind of recoup from the madness and chaos of having kids. Which is good for him because he is an introvert and he gets extremely overwhelmed with them. I do the same thing. Usually I go to Target or I go to Walmart and walk around, go grab myself my favorite type of Starbucks or get a frozen yogurt or whatever, but I don't see anyone. I don't go out with anyone. I go by myself. I often listen to music on my pods while I'm out. Yeah, so that was the questions that I had. I do have a couple more things that I want to chat about, but then I'm just going to let you guys watch me do the rest of my nails and kind of throw some music over it and just have a chill rest of the video. So if you like this kind of video, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Are you hanging out with me? Did you throw me on while you were cleaning? What were you up to? I am so excited and I would love to see what you are up to and know what you are up to. And if you're new, welcome. And if you want to, I'm actually going to go ahead and say leave questions for the next Q&A in the comments of this video so I can find them. Much easier than you guys probably can find my community post where I was like, hey, ask me some questions. I'm going to show you guys really quick what the polygel looks like before I file it though, right after this one is done. I do like the polygel. It's inexpensive, it's fun, and it's super easy. Like, I'm not a talented nail person. Like, I would never consider myself like a nail tech or anything like that, but I do enjoy nails. I always have, and I am really glad that I got this set. All right, so when you're taking off the dual form, it just kind of pops off, and then you have like these crazy nails that look like nuts. But it's gonna pop it off right there. This one's kind of, see, that definitely needs to come off. And then you can just like trim them down. You can cut them like real nails. So I use like a nail clipper, and I'll just go and just cut a little bit off. And then I'll just take the drill and I'll shape it down to the size, then the shape that I want. So that's what they look like. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you guys the nails that I'm trying to copy right here so you can see them. But I'm going to go ahead and speed it up while I do the other side, and then we'll go on from there. Okay, so that is always a long process. My drill died halfway through, so I had to hand shape the rest of my nails. So that was fun. I missed a spot. Bummer. Anyways, so I do my nails at home for fun, to relax, which is very relaxing. I listen to a podcast and or I watch YouTube or whatever I feel like doing that particular evening. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next week will be a random vlog on Sunday. If you guys are excited about this series of kind of talking more about motherhood and my cleaning and my thought process behind things, then let me know. And if you have any questions for the next Q&A, go ahead and leave those in the comments. Our next video is going to be the next episode of Messy to Minimal, the last episode in my girls' room, and that will be on Wednesday, followed by the Clean With Me on Friday, and then a random vlog for Sunday next week. I hope you guys are excited, and I cannot wait to see you all again very, very soon.